Hey guys, before we start the podcast, I just wanted to let you all know that my husband, Bert Kreischer, is starting his new Permission to Party World Tour in Rockford, Illinois on September 18th with all new material. He's been off the road for almost a year and he's ready to get back out there, and I'm ready for him to get back out there. Tons of dates and cities. Go to bertbertbert.com to find a show near you. I know I was reading it on the plane like this. So everyone can see. Random house copy. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I was reading it on the plane like this. So anyway.
Yeah, I was reading it in my family room like that. And no one was impressed in my home. They were just asking for things of me.
So half your household is out of the household, right? Seeing your
No, actually, everyone's back now.
Oh, they're back.
Yes,
okay,
we're
good.
all back together.
And how's your household for the summer? Everybody's good?
I think yes. This is like the women on the verge of a nervous breakdown.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, everybody in my household is fine. My husband is, currently in the midst of some random woodworking project that I may or may not have caused, which is always intriguing.
Well, what is that? What do you mean?
Like actual woodworking.
Yeah, I know, but what's the project? Is it like sconces for your...
No, it's... So my husband does better when he has, he gets really stressed at work. Mm-hmm. And he doesn't love the part of the job that he's doing right now. Mm. So he needs something creative to do with his brain. He loves woodworking. So I was like, you need a woodworking project because I can't deal with the amount of stress coming off of you. You need something else to occupy your brain, and it needs to not be me. So we were walking the dog the other day, randomly found this hardwood, kind of cool table with a broken leg on the side of the street.
Oh boy.
I made him bring it home.
Oh my God.
So he's refinishing this table.
Okay. Is it nice? No, it's just something to do.
It's fine. It's fine. It could be really cute.
Yeah.
Actually, originally it probably was. No, it probably was not really cute. I don't know why they finished it. It's very, very traditional, old school finish, like walnut-y kind of, but not cute.
Yeah.
Almost honey oak. I don't know. Yeah. It's it's very dated.
Yeah.
And somebody decided to paint it, but they clearly painted it where it was. So there are brush strokes, but that doesn't go all the way to the floor because they didn't want to get paint on the floor.
Oh my God.
And it's not painted on the bottom sides. It's just a fucking shit show. Yeah. Right. But it's a really cute shape. The legs are really cute and decorative. And it could be really, and it's hardwood. It's a solid piece, except turns out that the top part is particle board. And you're like, why the fuck would you put particle board on the part of the table that gets used the most?
Yeah.
The rest of it is all hardwood.
Huh.
So I don't know if that got, I don't know what happened. I don't really care.
It's a mystery.
I just need someone else to deal with it. I need my husband's brain to be occupied with some other project.
I hear you.
So that's what he's working on. But of course, Kirsten comes to pick me up and he's like, okay, so what about this? And what about this? What about this? I'm like, I gotta go. I just gotta go. I'm cool with whatever you do because chances are it's going back out to the street. I don't know what we're going to do with this table. It literally, originally I was like, oh, I bet it would work here. Not even close. Visually, I was way off, 24 inches off.
Wow.
It's not going to fit.
Wow.
We need this little bench sort of in our bathroom.
It's way too big.
Not that. No. It's probably longer than your table, but it's and it's weird. It's almost coffee table size, but it's taller than a coffee table. It's it's an entryway table is really what it is. It's shorter than a sofa table, but whatever. I don't know. We don't fucking need it.
Right.
But he needs to be occupied. It's a project.
You need a project.
I don't. No,
you need him to have a project.
I need him to have a project. So
I hear you.
He currently has a project.
That's good. Well, I did something good for myself. I was very proud of myself. I'll share this because I shared it with somebody. We are in Atlanta working on Bert's Netflix show, so we're on set. And I shared this with a couple ladies at lunch, and they were like, that was amazing. So I forgot about it till you were just talking about Stephen needing a focus. So when we're on this TV show, Bert is filming 23 of the 24 days of filming, and it's a lot of work. And so I'm there to help produce, but that's not my main lift. My main lift is really to support Bert and to make him feel good about acting, because he's not really, he's not a trained actor, obviously, and he's only done the movie The Machine. That's the only acting he's ever done. So he's feeling a little insecure, but just, my main job there is to say, that was amazing. That you did a great job, and to just kind of take things off his plate. I'm clearly doing his laundry and all that kind of stuff to make sure he has everything he needs so he doesn't have to think about life. And I give notes on the project and whatever, but I'm a low on the totem pole creative producer, but I'm really the top totem pole for the number one talent, right? So the first week goes by and it's all Bert all the time, right? And I start feeling like, wow, I am, how do I manage what I need for the next 6 weeks when I know the next 6 weeks really has to be about him? But that's not fair entirely. Even though that's where you're going into, I would imagine people have to feel that way with someone who's ill. Someone who's in chemo, and we know all bets are off, and this is what we're doing for 6 weeks. And I was just kind of thinking about that and saying, well, how do I make space for myself? Because in order to take care of him, I have to take care of myself. Coincidentally, that same day, later in the day, Bert said to me, I've been thinking about our dynamic here on set, and you are taking care of me all day, every day. And that's not fair to you, but that's what's necessary. So I just want you to know that I'm aware of that, and I'm really worried that I'm going to get used to it, and that when this project is over, I'm going to want that. So what do we do? What do we do here? And I was like, well, first of all, that you're thinking that way is amazing.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. And I said, well, let's think about it. You don't shoot on Saturdays and Sundays. So why don't we just decide that Sunday's for me? So for whatever I want. If I want to be by myself, you don't take that personally because I'm an introvert and I need to be by myself. Great. If I want to go, walk around the park, then Sunday's for me, for whatever I want, where I want to eat, what time I want to eat, when I want to go to bed. I just get to run Sunday entirely. And if I decide I don't want to run Sunday at all, that's okay too. And he goes, that sounds really good. Let's try it. So this past Sunday, I did Sunday, and it was freaking awesome. And it was such a great back and forth of us being on the same page at the same time, putting it on the table, figuring out a solution together and implementing it together. And it was really lovely. And then Monday started and I was like, all you all day, baby, because I can do it, because I know Sunday is for me. So I just thought of that when you were talking about it. I need Stephen to have a project. And I just thought I would tell that story because maybe it'll be helpful to somebody who's in a moment where their husband is or wife or partner at work is in a place where it has to be about all them all the time. Because I'm so apt to just put myself aside entirely and go, I'll get from A to B. But to say it out loud to your partner and to have a solution that works for both of you was really easy. And I don't think it occurs to people naturally to problem solve like that. I don't think it occurred to me naturally. I don't know that I would have brought it up to Bert because I wouldn't have wanted him to be worried about me, which was the point of the whole time. But the fact that he brought it up to me made me go, okay, then my feelings are really accurate. And we can figure this out together. So I thought that was kind of cool.
That's great. That is very cool.
I wanted to share it with anybody listening who might need to hear that. Because the ladies on set, I told it to, they were like, that's pretty amazing that you were able to do that. Not to be braggy, just to give a tool to somebody else who might be in that same kind of scenario for whatever reason. To say, how do we work together? Yeah, who is it that says marriage is never 50-50? Sometimes it's 80-20, sometimes it's 60-40. And this is a like 90-10. So anyway,
So anyway, Fannie Flagg.
Fannie Flagg. We read her book that is coming out August 19th, the day before my birthday this year, August 19th. Fannie Flagg is called Something to Look Forward to. You can see it here. I've been reading her my whole life. I've read several of her books. She's for people who don't know, she wrote Fried Green Tomatoes at the Whistle Stop Cafe, which is the movie. Fried Green Tomatoes was an adaptation of that book, I guess, and was nominated for an Academy Award. And it's a very popular movie, really well written. Everything she's ever written has been well written. She's a Southern author. I think she lived in Gulf Shores, Alabama, and also in Birmingham. So she's deeply Southern. And I don't know, her publisher or her publicist or someone reached out and asked if we would read it in book club about it. And I was so honored because she's a fabric of my life. And I was just so honored. So we read it. So we book clubbed it.
That's interesting that you said that. So I've only read the one other book we read by her. I've never read anything else by her. So I'm curious, so this, for me, only having read book, felt like a departure, right? I was like, ooh, short stories. We haven't, first of all, read that in forever. And it felt like a departure from her, but I've only read one book, so I don't actually know if that's true or not. Is that true? Has she written short stories?
I don't know. I've only read novels by her. I mean, we book clubbed one of her novels. I read Fried Green Tomatoes, and I read one other in like the 80s or 90s, like a long time ago.
Okay.
But yeah, I've never read any short stories by her before. And this is kind of interesting because it's short stories, but there is some connection. There are some connections made. So it almost, did you ever read that? Oh, there was an Oprah book club, the 12 Children of, I don't know, I'm getting it wrong. There was some book that was a novel, but really every chapter was about another one of the kids of this matriarch. And it was all about the matriarch of the family, and it told it through that kid's lens. So they were they could almost be read as short stories, except for it really was a novel because it all came together by the end, where it really, you got a full vision of this woman. And so there was some of that in here, because even though the character, it was, different time frames, like different eras and different cities, there was some connectivity, and there were some recurrent themes, and like doctors making unusual choices, and like ethics and family.
Yeah.
And honestly, like what it is to be human, sort of. I think that's like one of the big themes.
I think so, of this book. Yeah. To your point, I thought it was a departure too, because I've only read her novels also.
Okay.
So, yeah, it was all short stories and easy to read. She's always really easy to read. She definitely writes like she's Southern, I think, but not so much so that it's like you're like hit over the head with it. You still, every once in a while, a little term will come up there, and I go, that's definitely a Southern term.
Yeah, but a lot of them were set places that were not the South. Like there was,
that's true.
Boston
California.
or something, California, Kansas,
Philadelphia, I think was in
there. So it wasn't
in the Midwest.
Yeah, there was a lot of Midwest,
which obviously is not Southern, but I felt like it was that.
Yeah,
a couple outliers,
and I think it was also a departure in that I feel like her other books, even though, so the similarity is that quirky characters, like regular people who have quirky, interesting idiosyncrasies. But the departure is that it was almost simpler than like the book that we read that has the really long title that I always forget.
Girls Filling Station, something. Yeah.
Which we really liked.
Here, right?
We really enjoyed that book.
Yeah.
But it was pretty intense. The all-girl filling station's last reunion.
That's it.
But there was definitely some deep like intensity. This wasn't as I don't want to say not as deep. I don't mean it in a bad way, but it's lighter. it felt
Well, I think
like
that's the thing with
lighter
short
themes.
stories, right?
Yeah.
Like the characters don't get as developed
Yeah.
because you have such a short amount of time, right? So it's just very quick.
Yeah.
So some of that really in-depth character stuff that's so intriguing may be lost if the story wasn't continued all the way through.
Yeah.
And there was only a couple that were continued all the way through.
That's true.
Totally.
I mean, they definitely there was a richness there, but it's not the same as some of her other books.
Right.
You know?
I agree with that.
Yeah.
She definitely had some richness, but not the same as the other books where they're so much longer character and story development over time. I thought it was a book you could pick up anytime, read a couple chapters, put it down. If you get busy, you don't have to sit down and read the whole book. You won't get lost, and forget what's going on.
Yeah.
The chapters aren't super long, so that's great. So summer read, easy read.
Yeah.
I liked that it was, I think a lot of it, as I was reading the book, I kept thinking about my Aunt Carol and thinking my Aunt Carol would love this book because there was some of the chapters really put me back to my childhood, but not like climbing trees and jumping in creeks, but like the community that I remember in a small town and everybody at church on Wednesday night for singing and Sundays after service eat lunch and
the cornhole.
The cornhole.
Yeah,
and
Velma. When I read the Velma sections about Kansas, I thought about you.
Yes. So it put me back. So every time she would go into that, because that was one of the recurring stories, was a multi-generational family where part of the family lives in California, the other part lives in Kansas, and how they see the world differently. And she kind of sparsed that throughout. Sparse, is that the right word? I don't know. It was throughout. That was one of the recurring stories. And every time I went into that story, I really related to the great-grandmother because that's how I grew
I have
up.
to say, she was the best character
in
the book.
Yeah.
Like, everything about her was lovable.
Yeah.
Right?
She was very charming.
Like, she was
fun.
charming and she was trying. Do you know what I mean? Outside of her wheelhouse. Like, she was just, like, and that's the kind of character that has been in the one other book I read.
Yeah, no, that
but
was.
I imagine those are the characters she has everywhere.
Velma
right?
is the
Like,
classic
she
Fannie Flagg
is-
character where she's on the phone with her granddaughter and
Yes.
she's like, "Oh, Betty Sue, you get out of here." And her granddaughter's like, "Who's Betty Sue?" And she's like, "Oh, the chicken." She was just walking through the kitchen. She's like, "You let your chicken walk in the kitchen?" And she's like, "Oh, she's housebroken." And then later when she hangs up the phone, she's like, "Betty Sue was not in fact housebroken."
When we were young, we used to dream of being anything, an astronaut, the president, a prince or princess. But as you get older, your dreams change, focusing less on running the world and more on how you can take your skills and ideas and turn them into something real. Instead of dreaming of going to space or owning your own castle, maybe you can start dreaming of owning your own business. You'll need a website, a payment system, a logo, and a way to advertise to new customers. It can all be overwhelming and confusing, but thankfully, that is where today's sponsor, Shopify, comes in. Shopify is the commerce platform behind millions of businesses around the world and 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S., from household names like Mattel and Gymshark to brands just getting started. What if I can't design a website? Well, Shopify's got you from the get-go with beautiful, ready-to-go templates to match your brand's style. What if I need a hand? Get help with everyday tasks like enhancing product images, writing product descriptions, or generating discount codes with Shopify's AI tools created for commerce. What if people haven't heard about my brand? Shopify helps you find your customers with easy-to-run email and social media campaigns. And what if I get stuck? Shopify is always around to share advice with their award-winning 24/7 customer support. We've been using Shopify for years for all of Bert's store and Wife of the Party's store. I love it because it's user-friendly. I am not super tech savvy, but I can go online and see what my inventory is. I can see what my sales are for the month. If someone didn't receive something, I can figure it out, all using Shopify. It's so easy to use. Turn those dreams into cha-ching and give them the best shot at success with Shopify. Sign up for your $1 per month trial and start selling today at shopify.com/wife. Go to shopify.com/wife. That's shopify.com/wife. But Tracy Ann did not need to know that.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was definitely the coolest character.
Yeah, I loved her.
Yeah.
And she kept making me think about my Aunt Carol.
Yeah.
That
could see that.
storyline in particular.
Yeah.
And, I like how there were other kooky characters. And I liked that the first the first story was such a departure from
Oh my
anything
gosh.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
that I was like, wait a minute. Is
What
this
is
book
happening?
going to be about this? And then
Yeah.
when we moved on to the next
I
story, I
was
was
so
like, oh,
confused. I kept looking at the book going, am I reading the right thing? Like, this is not what I expected at
No.
all.
Yeah,
So that was definitely interesting. That was way out of
it was.
left field.
And I expected that story.
Yeah.
Because it was the first story to continue to pop up throughout.
That's what I
Yes.
thought too.
And it
Yes.
just kind of bookended the book.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And I was surprised.
I really wish there was one more in the middle to connect it
yeah.
instead of just the like book ending.
The bookends. Yeah, I did too. I wanted to hear more from that because
Yeah.
it was an interesting way to give perspective without
Mhm.
really, giving perspective. To
Right.
tell a story
And
through.
talk about a departure.
right?
I mean,
That was a big departure.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, it felt like this book was fun for her to write. Like she had fun writing this book and enjoyed writing it. And even though some of the quote lessons I think she was teaching, I don't know. I think she enjoyed teaching them in this way. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Where she kind of talks about some topical issues in a very humorous way. And I thought that was really kind of cool. That she, we all have different opinions on topical things. And throughout the country, people are not aligned on how we think and feel about what one might call a woke issue, right? Some people are not woke. And some people are way too woke. There's a little
Mhm.
bit of everything all over the place. And I think she just tried to comment on that. And for me, I was like, this is not necessarily what I think, but it was done in a way where I wasn't upset or offended, or I wasn't like, this was dumb. I thought it was very kind of sweetly done in some ways, especially talking about her great-granddaughter and being confused about not Fannie Flagg's great. There was a character in here who had a great-granddaughter who was a they, them, and she kind of was struggling with that. And I think that was a very honest representation of that struggle in a multi-generational way.
Yeah, when she's writing the great-granddaughter writes her a note and signs it Garland, they, them. And then the Velma writes back and says, "Oh, dear Garland, blah, 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 blah." And then signs it like Nana, me, her.
Just me.
Just
Just
me.
me. That's
Just
what it was.
me.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like,
That
that's
made
her.
me giggle. Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
Because you're like, okay, so here's this old.
Yeah,
I
and
don't
she
know,
was
like we
she
have
was
no
very
idea.
old. She was like
she's great grandmother,
80s.
I
right?
think she was like 89 or something.
I don't remember. But she's trying,
Yeah.
right? And she's like, but she's still being her. Like, I don't get it, but if this is what you want,
Yeah,
like, I'll
just
do
let
whatever.
me.
Yeah,
Here's the format.
yeah.
Here's my meeting you halfway. And I thought that was a sweet way
Yes.
of Fannie Flagg to comment on that, being that these are two people in two different places. And that happens everywhere. And
in every family,
in every family.
often.
Yeah, it is.
So,
So I kind of thought it was cool how she did that.
Yeah, it was interesting because we've, was it last year, whenever it was, we decided like, oh, we're going to do books that we don't usually do, like a theme, like we're going to do a romance, we're going to do this. And we're like, oh, I don't really like fantasy books, or I don't really like romance or whatever. Like I like to read what I like to read. But we haven't read a lot of short stories. So that was kind of fun.
yeah.
From that perspective. And so it was like it was like a gentle entry into short stories because it was Fannie Flagg, who we already like. And they're just, it's simple. Like you're right. It would be a good beach read. Or also
Very
I think
easy to read.
it would have been really great to read when, like for a mom of young kids, when you don't have any time to read and are just like, I hate myself. I used to read all the time, where you could just read a chapter that's they're just a couple of pages. Like it really goes fast.
Yeah, it does.
Really, really fast.
Yeah.
And, there's that white space that I always like. Thank you, Fannie Flagg. And, but like, you don't even have to finish a chapter, but you can pick right up and you're not going to be, hit over the head and just feeling like I can't handle this.
Yeah.
You know what it reminded me of? So like the cover art I think is so charming. It reminded, did you guys watch Gilmore Girls with your kids?
No.
Okay, so I did, and a lot of moms watch Gilmore Girls with their daughters.
Mhm.
This looks like Stars Hollow, which is the fictional town that it is set in. And in a lot of ways, and Stars Hollow in Gilmore Girls is just this place with all these regular people, quote unquote regular people, but very idiosyncratic oddball characters, like coming into the diner. And it's like, oh, wow, there's the kooky, grocery store owner. There's the kooky so-and-so. And so this felt like the characters were not at all the same as in Gilmore Girls, but there's very much a flavor of that. I think if you liked Gilmore Girls, you would like this book because
cool.
it's as if there's like a chapter about Luke and a chapter about, all of the different kooky characters.
Yeah.
And
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting too. Toward the end of the book, we were just talking about this earlier, wrote a chapter about reincarnation and did it through like the scope of nature, which was a really interesting way to look at reincarnation, like the possibility of, one of the characters in that story says everybody thinks they were Cleopatra at some point. And isn't that the truth? When I was definitely Cleopatra. And you're like, everybody couldn't be Cleopatra. There's one person was that person, but we all think we were Cleopatra. Yeah. And I thought it was another way, like I was talking about the wokeness that she was kind of presenting was another way of presenting a kind of some people might think a crazy theory in a very palatable, easy to digest way. It was cute. It was funny.
Yeah, a simple entry into a complex issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was like the main character or the narrator of that chapter was like I can't remember what he was. He was like a grub or a slug or something.
He was a grub. Yes, he was a grub. And there were possums and squirrels and birds and all.
And the squirrel's entry, I thought that was interesting. His entry into the scene is he jumps out of a tree and lands and is like, oh, whoa, I'm okay. Wait a minute. I have pause, because he had just jumped off of a building. He was someone who had just taken psychedelics and thought he could fly. And he jumped off of a building and died. But as he landed, he became a squirrel.
Yeah.
And
that was cool. So as I was reading the book, I kept thinking to myself, I feel like, and I mean this as a compliment, so it may come out kind of weird, but I mean it as a compliment. I felt like these were like bedtime stories for me. So, you read a bedtime story to your child.
Yes, because they're all sort of happy and they're tied up at the end. Every story gets tied up in a bow. That's, bedtime stories for adults.
Yeah. That's what I felt like they were. Because I would always read it at night before bed. And I feel like everything was pretty warm and fuzzy.
Yeah.
And it was just like bedtime stories for me, for an adult.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
Yeah. Like my Aunt Carol, who's older than me, could read these bedtime stories to me, and that it would somehow make sense. That at 55, someone's reading them to me. But that's kind of my sense of the whole book. It was like bedtime stories for me.
Yeah, and they're kind of like happy little stories as an antidote for the chaos, the abject terror and chaos of this era, this time in history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a feel-good book.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Everything about it was about feeling good. Anything else we want to say about the book? I don't want to say too much, and so people
I know
it's hard to. Yeah.
We're in an unusual situation because, like, I was thinking the last book that we did was Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil, which had been around for like 30 years. So it's like, okay, there are going to be spoilers. Well, no kidding. Like, it's been out for long enough. If you haven't read it by now, like, you're going to have to deal with these spoilers. But I feel kind of like we can't give spoilers because this isn't even out yet.
It's not even out yet, A. And B, there's so many short stories. It's hard.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all short stories. So it's hard to we've talked about the ones that kind of progress throughout the book and the ones that kind of hit our highlight, but I can't talk about all of them and you won't read the book.
Yeah, totally.
You got to read the book.
Okay,
That's
for
true.
those people that are like me who like the metrics of this, it's like 269 pages, but there's like plenty of white space.
Yeah.
And there are
It doesn't
30
even feel
short
like-
stories. So that's less than 10 pages
Yeah.
per short story. Some of them a little bit longer, but some of them are just, like 5 pages.
Some are
and
short,
so
yeah.
it's very digestible. It's very digestible. If you've been feeling like you're too busy to read a book or your brain is too chaotic, it's too much. It's a very digestible, easy to read, happy, sweet, gentle. It's a gentle book.
It is.
Yeah.
That it is. It's almost like watching I Love Lucy, or
Comfort
Leave It to
food.
Beaver, where everything's kind of simple and nothing's too complex. And I mean that as a compliment.
Yeah.
I don't mean that as a
Yeah,
slight.
it's comfort food.
It's comfort food. Yeah. It's like mashed potatoes.
Yeah. I thought of mashed potatoes too.
I mean, I could eat them
Yeah.
every day.
Hot and buttery.
I know.
and,
It spans generations.
yeah. Yeah, everybody
know,
likes.
Even the critters in the reincarnation would eat mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Maybe not the grub,
Yeah.
but yeah, August 19th.
Yeah,
you're
right
looking
around the corner. Pre-order,
for-
I bet you can.
I bet you can.
Right?
So if you're looking for some bedtime stories for yourself, something to look
Yeah.
forward to, Fannie Flag,
Yeah.
August 19th.
Do it.
Yay.
What
and
else?
read her other books too, because Fannie Flagg's the bomb.
I agree. I've read 3 of her books also, and all 3 of them I thought were so good.
Yeah.
The Filling Station one I thought should be a movie. I was like, it's
I'm
so
surprised
good.
it's not.
I
Yeah.
am too.
Yeah.
So surprised.
Yeah.
I pitched it to a producer for a movie and he never got back to me. But also, I think someone checked on it and I think that book's already like purchased by someone to produce. So not surprised. It's such a
Yeah,
great,
that seems
great
like
book.
what would happen.
Yeah.
What else you been reading?
You know what's so funny when Cathy was talking about woodworking, literally the last book that I read is called Woodworking.
Is it really?
It's not about woodworking.
Yeah.
It's about so the concept is about people who are it was actually about a trans person who is accused of woodworking, and woodworking is like fading into the woodwork. And so not being yourself, not wanting to be seen as your true self. And it was really good.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was it fiction?
It was fiction.
Very
Yeah.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
What have you been reading?
I just finished a book. I actually just downloaded Let Them,
Uh-huh.
which I only read the first chapter, so I can't
Mhm.
say anything about that. But I just read, oh God, I'm going to butcher their title. Savage and Noble Death of Babs Dion or something to that
Oof.
effect.
That's
First
a
I've heard of it.
mouthful.
It was like on some list, which is how I found out about it. It's fiction. Interestingly, it's not about reincarnation, but it talks about like, it's almost like a generational thing and the characteristics that come back like 6 generations later or whatever. One of the things I really liked about it was an interesting story, easy to read, but it takes place in this small French-Canadian town in Maine, a real town that exists. And it just talks a lot about home stuff. And I was like, I don't know. It felt good. So
Yeah.
it was a good read.
That's your back.
Yeah.
Your home.
It was my backyard. Yeah.
It's always good to read something like that.
Yeah. And it was pretty, it's fiction, pure fiction, but it was pretty spot on. It's like Fannie Flagg. Like she clearly knows the South. So she writes very well about the South. And this was somebody who clearly knew that community and Maine and whatever. So it was cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
I just finished Whoopi Goldberg's I think it's her first book. I can't remember what it's called, but it was about her growing up with her brother and her mom. And I actually listened to it because I like to listen to memoirs. People, I like to hear them tell their story sort of. And I'm not a fan. I'm neither here nor there for Whoopi Goldberg. I think she's very talented, but I don't have any real strong opinion about her. I just thought, well, I wonder how she came to be. You know, she's such a specific human being. So I was just curious how she came to be. And what an amazing story she has from growing up in the projects in New York City, and how she had a very kind of unconventional mom in a lot of ways. And also her mom just apparently had the life lessons like spilling out of her mouth at all times. And to hear, I actually loved everything she said about her mother, almost to the point where I wanted her as my mother. It was a beautiful telling of that woman.
That's cool.
And, you know, obviously I don't know anything about her mother, but the way she represented her mother was just absolutely inspiring and beautiful. And she's had a crazy journey through her life, Whoopi, and you know how she grew up, and she definitely was loved, and was, as far as she disclosed in the book, was not, you know, mistreated or had no hardship like that, other than being raised by a single mom. And her mom had a nervous breakdown at a certain age and was institutionalized for 2 years, and she didn't understand why. That's obviously very traumatic, but she was, you know, as far as I know, in this book I read, there was nothing about any kind of sexual trauma or anything like that. Just that core relationship being broken, and then spending her whole life really caring for her mom, not even in a caretaker way, but my impression was they had a very beautiful relationship as a mother-daughter, and that her mother just saw her as who she was and loved that person so much that really enabled Whoopi to be Whoopi. It was really cool the way she talked about her mom. It was beautiful. So, I didn't have any real reason to read that. Just kind of went, maybe I'll check it out. And then got really into hearing her talk about her
There's
mom.
nothing better than being surprised by a good book.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best.
Yeah. She's definitely ADHD. She went off on tangent after tangent after tangent. So I don't know if the written book is exactly the same. As she explained, she was like, I have ADHD, so I'm just going to be like all over the place. And she was. But yeah, it was pretty, I mean, just her life pulled out of it was pretty amazing. But then just the way she represented her mom was really beautiful. So if you're looking for a listen, and she's good to listen to. She's a great storyteller.
Yeah.
And that was fun. I just finished that. And I'm about to start. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to read Lit by Mary Carr, or someone just told me that Barbara Streisand's memoir is bananas. So I'm thinking about listening to that, but I want to read something, physically read something. Well, we have our next book club book. Do you remember what we discussed it being?
Yes.
Tell me.
Do not.
Manufacturing My Miracle.
That's right.
Oh, is that what it was?
Jill.
Now,
Yes. Hang on.
Oh, no, that's not available till November.
No, it's available. It's available. Wait a minute.
No, I looked it up. It says coming out November.
No, it's already been released.
Are you sure?
Yeah. It's Manufacturing My Miracle, One Woman's Quest to Create Her Personalized Gene Therapy by Jill Dopp-Viles.
Wait, I don't remember this book at
Bloomsbury.
all.
I think we're talking about two different books. You had a book, and this is the book that she suggested that her friend wrote.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is the one that my
Oh,
friend
yes.
Jill wrote.
Right?
Yes, you
passed
DM'd
away
me a
recently.
book that's not coming out till November. You
Oh,
DM'd
yeah.
me a book. That's what I thought you were talking
yes, but we have to
No.
read that
about.
one.
Yes, but it's not out till November.
Okay, but we have to
So-
read that in November.
Christine asked for advanced copies so we can do that book
Ooh.
like we did the Fannie Flag book and
Yeah.
read it before it's out.
Wait, what's that book?
I don't remember. It's something about a marriage.
I gotta look it up. I sent it
There's
to her
no
on Instagram.
genes, different kind of genes. I don't know. I'm confused.
You know what it was?
Tell me.
It was Dr. Tracy, who
Mhm.
we
Uh-huh.
did book club with,
Yeah.
and who wrote that fantastic book. She has written a book about your husband, your mother-in-law, and you. Like about
Oh, dear Lord.
daughter
The
in
love triangle.
It's
Cathy,
something like that.
can't wait to dig
I
into
was
that.
like,
I don't mean to
wow, was she in
misrepresent
my
it, but
backyard?
yeah.
'Cause, Okay.
No, and it sounds so good. And I trust Dr. Tracy. I think she's,
I can't wait to read it.
yeah.
Got
It's
it.
called You, Your Husband, and His Mother. by
What?
Dr. Tracy. Yeah.
Sounds like a novel. You, your
I know.
husband, and his
Create
mother.
a healthy relationship with your mother-in-law and your spouse in 5 simple steps.
Where was
And-
this book 20 years ago?
I know.
I'm just saying, Dr. Tracy, get your shit together. I
Because
needed
Dr.
this.
Tracy is too young to have written this 20 years ago.
I just did one of these. Where was this book 20 years ago?
Seriously,
What?
No,
on.
and she has some like fantastic
too late.
content.
I veto this book.
Yeah.
Screw this book. We're not reading it.
Whatever. I could write this own book.
Yeah. I can't wait to read that.
So
one.
that's for November.
That's for
Okay.
November.
So I forgot. We were reading your
Wait.
friends. You're right. That's so
Yes.
funny. That's not what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say Memoirs of a Geisha.
and
when
then
you-
we read
yes,
Memoirs
and
of a
then you
Geisha.
said that, I went,
Listen,
wait a
people, we
minute.
have our shit together right
We
now.
do- we
We, are
just
can't
planned
remember any
through
of it.
November.
We do.
Because
We're playing through November. We
I
are.
thought we were doing
Like-
that one first. No, we're okay. I don't care. It doesn't matter.
Memoirs of a Geisha first?
I thought so.
I
but
thought
no.
we were too, but
Okay.
I don't care.
I don't
Which-
care either.
I don't care either because we're reading both of them
Okay,
at some
hold
point.
on.
Either way.
So,
I'm going on vacation. Which one's a better beach read?
wait, where are you going?
Newport. Always.
Oh, when are you doing this? You didn't tell me this, Cathy.
Oh my God.
what are you
now I'm
talking
getting
about?
in the middle of something. This is very awkward. I'm going to just drink my water.
I mean, you have to tell me everything, both of you actually. But when are you going to Newport? First week in August?
First 2 weeks in August. Yeah. Maybe the 3rd.
For 2 weeks? Wow. You
That's a new
excited?
development. Sure.
Okay, here's my deal.
So yeah,
Uh-oh.
I don't
What's your
actually
deal?
care. I mean, I got
Okay, so have you read Memoirs of a Geisha?
I have not.
Okay. Have you read your friend's memoir?
I have read versions of it. So I've read it pre-publication, but
Okay.
not consecutively. So no, it's going to be new to me.
Okay,
It's gonna be new to
here's
me.
my thought.
Yes.
Okay. I am in production for the next month.
Yeah.
My reading ability is going to be
Nil.
I don't know about nil, but it's going to be a little
Limited to
scattered.
Sundays.
So I've limited to Sundays. Exactly. But I did read for 5 hours on Sunday.
Nice.
Almost 5,
Oh,
probably
nice.
4. Oh, and I was in heaven. But I was reading this book at the pool. But I wonder if we read the novel.
Yeah,
So-
because you've already
because
read
I've
it.
already read
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Right.
Okay, we do that
and then
first.
we do that. And then
Yeah.
once I'm done, I can really read. I'm
Look at
afraid
us.
if we read the memoir now.
Okay, but wait a minute, you guys.
Huh.
Okay, so we have August
Wait,
Memoirs
someone
of
write this down, please.
August
because
Memoirs of
I'm
a
not-
Geisha.
Right.
September Manufacturing My Miracle
Correct.
by Jill Viles.
Correct.
We do not have an October book, so we don't have our shit together.
Well, sort of.
Get it
If we
together,
get the
ladies.
advanced copy of Dr. Tracy's book, we'll have October.
No, but
then
it
we-
comes out in November though. So we
Oh, I
Yeah,
guess we
so-
should.
I
Well,
don't
yeah,
know.
we should.
Well,
Well,
I
no,
don't
if
know.
it's advanced, then we do it before. And if not, we'll do it in
Okay.
November.
So we
so-
do need one more book.
Okay,
yeah.
but look at us. We're pretty
good.
together.
We're
Yeah.
3.
The bottom line is we're amazing.
Yeah,
I mean,
and listen,
amen.
this is an improvement over those podcasts where we've literally been on Amazon
looking at our
scrolling,
phones.
I know, right?
and I'm like, oh my God, people are just dropping off.
Yeah.
Like they're unfollowing your podcast. They're
I
just
hope
like,
not.
I will never listen to this again.
Nonsense.
So
These
this is
people
an
are
improvement.
crazy.
Yes, improvement.
Yeah.
Very true.
You know, I've been thinking about my podcast lately. I feel like the world of podcasting is so obviously different than when I started. And when I started, I had a real high production quality. And now sometimes I look at other people and I go, oh my gosh, I got to step up my game. I got to like produce these like book clubs where we need to talk about blah, 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 blah. But I really just enjoy what I do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just enjoy us being on Amazon going, what book do we read? Because that's what we do in real life. So I don't know, but sometimes I look, you know, it's like, I don't really have a good analogy, but I feel like,
No, I know what you mean. There are those podcasts like Gretchen Rubin's
Yes.
podcast where it's like, okay, you know that from from 0 to 2 minutes, this is going to happen.
Yes.
Then there's going to be an ad, and then there's going to be
yes,
Yeah.
this, and that they're
Highly
segments
produced.
that are But I don't know. I feel like yours has always been like a fly on the wall of this is me talking to my friends, shooting
Yeah.
the shit, and this is what we do at book club.
This is what we do at book club.
We're not a fancy
It's
book
true.
club that comes with questions, except for sometimes I nerd it up and bring some.
Yes.
But like, we're not like baking cookies in the shape of, Kansas or something.
No.
Like,
So I guess the moral of the story is I shouldn't really worry about it. But I do. Sometimes I think about it and I go,
Mhm.
oh, I wonder if I'm not evolving, or should I be evolving? Maybe that's the question. Should I be evolving? I don't really want to, but should I be?
Well, I think you are evolving. Maybe not in that way, though. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Like, you're evolving as a human, and that's what the podcast is about, right? So that's the evolution, as opposed to the production of the
and the
podcast,
production
maybe.
value, like that
know.
this has evolved. The
Oh,
set
well, yeah,
has
totally.
evolved. You used to be in Bert's man cave.
Yeah.
And,
There's definitely been an evolution, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean.
I hear
It's
you.
Your Gretchen
Yeah.
Rubin is a perfect example.
Yeah.
Where I go, should I have been growing toward that? But I don't really like that.
Right.
It's not
I
really-
believe you
so.
called her closed-crotched.
I did.
Back in the day. Yes.
I
when
believe you are accurate.
Yes. and you're not close
Close
crotch.
crotch.
Yeah.
You have no idea. Someday we'll podcast about that.
Wow. That's a mic drop.
Let's just say I just got a huge gift basket full of sex toys from this company that just sent me this huge, because they believe I am not close crotch. So
Wow.
So it's out there. No, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding about the basket. I did get a great gift basket, but yeah. Anyway, I'm just joking. I'm just joking. It's fun to josh.
See, if you were segmented, we could never have gotten that in.
You're right. You're right.
See?
You're right.
I
Yes.
mean,
I would
know.
also be close crotch.
I know. Would there be a segment for that?
No.
There would not.
No,
Yeah.
for sure not. Okay, so Memoirs of a Geisha now. Tell me the name of your friend's book again.
Manufacturing My Miracle, one woman's quest to create her own gene therapy. I think that's what it's called. It's by Jill Dopp Viles. Her two last names are DOPF and then VILES.
Dopp Files. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Memoirs of the Geisha and then that. So how do I send that to your
we'll
Kindle?
have to get a picture of that.
How do I gift you a Kindle version of Memoirs of a Geisha? Because I was buying you these because the least I can do when you come on my podcast is buy you the book. But how do I buy you a Kindle? We can figure that out. But anybody, we can figure that out. Not on the show, but so if one of you
This
had
does
an
not
answer.
fit into the segment.
This is This is a non-segmented segue.
There may be a little ADD going on.
You know what? I reject your idea of not evolving, because now you
I
have
agree.
these question
The Q&As?
yeah, the Q&As, that is an evolution.
No, I
You
guess
did not
so.
start with that.
No.
Oh, I absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for keeping me honest. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for reading this book.
Of course. Yeah, it was really
thanks for
exciting.
asking us. I mean, yeah.
Yes, thank you, Fannie Flag.
Yes.
Yeah, it was really exciting to be able to read an advanced copy. And it's kind of cool, like for people who haven't read an advanced copy, like us privileged folk. Like, the back, it's like, it's not an actual back. Like it was,
Yeah.
I felt very in the know and like an insider.
Yes, I did too.
And then there were a couple of typos that
I saw that too.
Yeah, which was honestly kind of fun.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I know I was reading it on the plane like this. so everyone can see. Random house copy. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. I was reading it on the plane like this. So anyway, so everybody could see my back.
Yeah, I was reading it in my family room like that. And no one was impressed in my home. They were just asking for things of me.
They were just distracted.
As is often the case.
Yeah, which is why I
Yes.
didn't read the last 20 pages.
Which is why when you have your nose in a book, that is the signal for them to
Exactly.
interrupt.
Yes.
Clearly what you're doing
Sorry.
doesn't matter.
No.
Yeah.
Very true. Well, thank you for
Super.
reading. So Memoirs of a
course.
Geisha next. And see you sometime in August.